Hi friends, I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads and it's time for a Sunday Sum Up. So typically in the past I would make my Sunday Sum Ups a little more vlog style, and lately I've been struggling to vlog. I've been struggling to edit. I've been struggling anything and everything when it comes to video making, as I'm sure you've noticed on my channel. So I am going to try and go back a little old school and make this a more traditional style sit down video and let you know what's going on with my reading right now and with my general life, because I tend to be more of, I don't want to say a lifestyle vlog, but I talk about my life a lot. So I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna have a nice quick little video where I give you a bit of a recap, and hopefully in the future, maybe in the future, Sunday Sum Ups will go back to what they were, but at least this way I know that I'm giving you information about where I'm currently at with my reading, and this is gonna work for me hopefully right now. Help me out with editing, because editing Sunday Sum Ups was getting to be very daunting because it actually takes a long time. And I was like, this is just one video a week and it's already, yeah, it was a bit much. It was a lot. And so I'm just hoping that this will kind of just pull me back into content creation. If I can simplify it a little bit for now, maybe I can regain some of that motivation, because I love making content. I love watching content. I love being able to share thoughts about books. I haven't been watching as much booktube lately, and I almost feel like I'm starting to get out of touch with like what's big right now, what books are popular. When I go to the bookstore and I look at the books that are new, I'm like, oh, I've never heard of a lot of these. So I just need to figure out what's going to work for me. I know that in the last couple of years, I've been saying that a lot because my channel has done a lot of this as far as content. And I think that's just a reality. You know, like the first few years were really easy for me to stay consistent. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that we were still in COVID and I was still in school. So my schedule was a lot more, I don't want to say open, because school did take a lot of time, but I had a lot more flexibility with that. But now that I'm working every day, or mostly every day, I don't have as much flexibility. And by the time I get home from substitute teaching, I'm exhausted. And like I said in my recent TBR video, I'm trying to figure out ways to increase my energy. Aside from Jordan and I trying to go to the gym 3 times a week in the mornings, I have been this week trying to, the second I get home from teaching, I do at least 30 minutes of the Fitness Marshall, which is this dance dude on YouTube. And so that has felt really good. And it's also bringing me back to that I need to do something right after I get off of school. Otherwise, I just want to lay on the couch all evening and not do anything. My social battery gets really depleted throughout the day, which is understandable because I'm spending my time with anywhere from 17 to 30 little humans all day long. And they are a lot. They can be very loud and they take up a lot of energy, and I love it. And I love being able to interact with these cute little kiddos, but it gets exhausting. So I get home and I'm like, bleh. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to make noise. I don't want to hear noise. It's a lot. I need to be drinking more water. I'm trying to eat a little healthier. Like, these are things that I could be doing better, but I'm just trying to kind of change one thing at a time and make it stick, because part of the problem is consistency. You know, like I'm really good about exercising when I exercise, like when I put my mind to it. I'm really good about eating healthy when I put my mind to it. I'm really good about drinking my water, but continuously doing that, like keeping those habits up, that's where I tend to struggle. And so right now I'm just trying to be consistent with at least one thing. So gym in the mornings with Jordan 3 times a week. That's one thing we're trying to be consistent at. And then hopefully dancing with the Fitness Marshall after I get off of school can be another thing that I get consistent with. It's been difficult to substitute teach, and not awful, but difficult. I've learned a lot, and I feel like I'm getting stronger at letting things slide off my back, like not taking it personally when things don't go great, because there are many instances where we have incidences, and a lot of time I have little control over that. I mean, I have control over how the outcome of that is, but like it actually happening, having a sub is hard on a lot of kids. And there are certain kids that really do have difficulties when there's a change in the schedule, when there's a change in the daily routine. And having a sub is a big change. So there have been some pretty big incidences, and I feel like the way that I'm recovering from them or reacting to them at the beginning of when I started substitute teaching versus now is a lot different. I'm not holding as much of that, like at the beginning I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And now I'm like, oof, that was a rough day, but I feel like I handled it well, and you know, I can't take it personally. So I've been a lot better at not feeling like those incidences are a reflection of my teaching ability. Last night was a really exciting night. This is Saturday that I'm filming this. Last night was the Aurora Borealis, and I'll show you some pictures here of how beautiful it was. And I've heard that in Washington, you know, there are times of the year that you can see the Aurora Borealis, but usually you can't see it with the naked eye. You have to use a camera that filters out the light, so it makes it a lot easier to see. Last night, we could see it with our naked eye really easily. Like, you look up the sky and there was this big light. I mean, it's not as brilliant as these pictures show. The colors weren't as brilliant, but you could see the differentiation in colors in the sky. And it was stunning. Mom and I actually went out earlier, like around 10 exactly, and we found a spot like out in a field where we could look up. And here's some pictures of when we first got out there. We could barely make out like these lines in the sky. And it was like, wow, okay, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I think that's it. And the pictures helped confirm that it was the Aurora Borealis, but it was nothing compared to where coming back towards the house, I started seeing more lights in the sky. And so then we found a good viewing spot that was overlooking the bay. And I don't know what it was, but the lighting over there was incredible. And that's when I got all these other pictures, these bright, bright pictures. And then I got pictures at my house. So the ones where you see the trees around the outside of it, those are pictures from my actual back door. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I'm so excited we stayed awake because it was late. You know, we didn't get to sleep till super late because you had to be kind of up when it was really dark to be able to see them. But yeah, I never expected to be able to see it that well, and it just was shocking. We were definitely like in awe because it was really cool. And so that was my excitement, and it was so amazing because it's something I've never seen before. So absolutely thrilled with that. We just had a blast. We were just giggly and excited because it was something so different and not what we were expecting. We were kind of expecting it to be a much more, like those first pictures you saw, much more mild, can't see that much, not as big of a bright sky. And it was bright. It lit up the whole sky. I am eagerly awaiting the release of season 3 of Bridgerton. That's basically what's been consuming my life these days. This fangirl side of myself that I never knew existed. I'm following the What a Barb podcast. Then there's some other YouTubers that kind of do the same thing where they analyze everything. Trying to stay away from spoilers, like big spoilers, like little spoilers, not so much, you know, stuff that we see in promos and whatnot. I'm not worried about that, but apparently recently people have been releasing clips and stuff like that from the actual season that are not sanctioned by anything, and like they're big portions, I guess, of what has already been shown to some of the people who have gotten previews. And I don't want to see that stuff. I don't want super big spoilers because that takes away the fun of being able to discover it on my own when I actually watch a season. But yeah, it's 6 days away, technically 6 days away, probably less in hours. I'm just so excited. I can't wait. And I am going to watch it on Thursday. Thursday is the day. So I'm just ready. I've read the first 5 books all the way through Eloise's story. I was kind of hoping to get to Francesca's story because I know that she is playing a big role coming into season 3. We're going to see a lot of Francesca, and we really don't get much from her in the books either. So like Francesca's a bit of a mystery to me. So it'll be interesting to see what we learn from her in season 3. I don't think I'll get to the book before Thursday. Reading's been a bit slow for me lately, but what I have been reading are the books that I actually need to read, and I'm okay with that. So let me get into my actual reading, because that's probably the biggest reason you're here is for my reading. It's a booktube channel after all. My recent TBR, I was saying that I was going to soft DNF maybe The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, and then I went ahead that same night that I posted that and I read like 20 or 30 pages. So I'm currently on page 166. I'm further than I was. So I was enjoying it that night that I picked it up, and so I'm gonna keep going at it. Hopefully I'll be able to pick it up a little bit today. I'm also working on Jade Legacy by Fonda. I'm right there, 128 pages in. So, you know, not quite 20%. Is that 20%? No. It's slow going a little bit in the beginning of this, but that's true for all 3 of these books. I've noticed that in the beginning, there's a lot of setup for what you can expect throughout the rest of the book. There is so much detail in these books, and there's so many stories, individual characters, and their stories weave in and out of each other. I can't say at this point that Andon's sections, any section that has Andon in, I wouldn't say he's my favorite character. Maybe he is, but I'm most intrigued by his chapters. So when I read about his sections, I'm always like quickly consuming it, loving it, loving it, loving it. The rest of it just takes me a little longer, but I'm really enjoying that too. Like, I'm really just enjoying this ride. And I don't have a rush to read this, but I do need to get it done before the 25th because this is one of my Tales from Two Trails. This is my 5-star prediction. So hopefully it's the 11th of May. So yeah, I gotta stay on top of this so that I get it done by the 25th. And those are really the only books I'm reading at the moment. I have other books started that are sitting there. And then of course, books that I need to get to, like Tender is the Flesh, and oh, Soulless, I forgot. Soulless by Gail Carriger. This is the audiobook I'm listening to. I'm currently 46% of the way through the audiobook. I am enjoying this. I am having a blast. And I don't know if this is an apt comparison. So if you have watched Bridgerton, I think watching more so than reading, if you have watched Bridgerton and read Soulless, tell me if I'm wrong by saying that I'm getting similar satisfying vibes from Soulless, aside from it being supernatural, because there's nothing supernatural in Bridgerton. I'm getting the same satisfaction from listening to Soulless that I get from watching Bridgerton or even reading Bridgerton, like these dramatic Regency romances. I'm getting the same enjoyment from Soulless. So like, it's really helping a lot right now while I'm waiting for season 3. Listening to Soulless is like, it's like hitting everything I needed to hit. I'm like, yes, this is what I need to listen to because it's just helping me wait for season 3 of Bridgerton. It's not like Bridgerton, but the romance and the pining and the tension, the sexual tension between the characters and the banter, the witty banter, the fun characters reminds me of Bridgerton in a lot of ways, at least enough that I'm getting that satisfaction from Soulless. Having a hard time not listening to it all the time, which is good. That's a good sign because audiobooks don't usually work that way for me. So hopefully I'll be able to make my way through that one and get to either Turn of the Screw or Tender is the Flesh for the horror prompt for Tales from Two Trails. So that's really where I'm at with my reading right now. It's these 3 books. This one, which, you know, I finally dipped my toe back into. Jade Legacy, this is my priority right now, and Soulless, which is another priority. I think that's mostly it. Thanks for listening to all my rambling at the beginning about all my personal stuff, but like that's part of what my life is like right now as far as what's keeping me from reading more, what's keeping me from creating more content. Like that's my life at the moment. That's what's going on. So this weekend, what do we have planned? Oh, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. We have decided we're gonna go to a local museum that we've never been to before, and then go to Henderson's Books and get some books. And there's a yarn store next to it, like a knitting store next to it that Mom's never checked out. She'd like to check that out. And then we're gonna go to Red Light, one of our favorite places to eat. And that's the plan for Mother's Day. It'll be a lot of fun. Let me know in the comment section down below, what's the best book you read recently? Or what are you reading right now that you really just want to shout out? Let us know what we should be reading based on what you're currently reading and loving. Also, let me know if there's anything big that's happened for you lately. I feel like the Aurora Borealis was a big thing for me. I was so excited about it. And I hope that if you didn't get a chance to see it, you enjoyed my pictures. Or at some point in the future, you get a chance to have an amazing night like this where it's like bright and brilliant. Go to Finland or go to Alaska or something. I don't know. You know, it costs money. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens in the next week. Will I do another Sunday Sum Up? Will I have vlogs that I need to work on. Will I work on those vlogs and get them out for you? I really hope I do. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.